Great. I'm on the fence about, but I thought you guys should know about it anyways. It's been out for a few days, but I might as well touch on it anyways, only because it's so important. But House will vote on removing cannabis from controlled substances list. In September, the House will vote on removing cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act as well as erasing some marijuana criminal records, The Hill reports. The bill would not legalize cannabis. That choice would still be left up to states. Even though the vote will not legalize the drug, it will still be a historic step to reduce legal penalties related to cannabis. Marijuana is currently legal in 11 states. The September vote is set to be the first taken by either the Chamber of Congress to remove marijuana from the Controlled Substances Act. As of right now, cannabis is listed as Schedule 1 under the Controlled Substances Act. This means there is no benefit to medical use and a high chance for abuse of the drug. If the drug were removed from the Act, federal prohibition of the drug would be eliminated, but state laws that make it illegal would remain in place. It would also remove cannabis records and give grant funding to people negatively affected by the enforcement of marijuana laws. House Judiciary Chair Jerry Nadler first introduced the bill last year, which passed the panel by a 24-10 vote in November. With the votes of GOP reps Matt Gaetz and Tom McClintock, it passed the committee. It is unlikely that the bill will pass the Republican-controlled Senate. The vote will happen during a time of national reckoning over systemic racism and police brutality, with racial injustice advocates calling to attention the disproportionate enforcement of marijuana laws against people of color in the United States. So, I am not too optimistic about this actually passing. I don't need to tell you guys, Big Pharma lobbying Congress. They spent like what, $27 million on lobbying, I think in 1 year. That or throughout their history of lobbying, I'm not sure. But either way, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And a lot of congressmen, a lot of senators, they're all in on the take. Majority of them are on the take, that's for sure. So I'm not too optimistic about it. I think the powers that be are going to get what they want again, and we're all going to get fucked as always. Now, to give you a little history on marijuana prohibition. It was banned in 1937. I think it was it John Ehrlichman? Hold on. It was Harry Anslinger. That's who started this. He was the director of the Bureau of Narcotics. And his whole thing was basically to basically decriminalize a drug, because they were going to cut his funding. They were going to cut the funding to the Bureau of Narcotics. So he basically used racism to fearmonger white America into into making marijuana illegal, because he said that because Mexicans were bringing it from Mexico because they would smoke it. So he used racism to basically get the drug banned, and they also started using it against black people as well, saying that they would rape white women under the drug, or that the drug makes people do crazy things like commit murder or stuff like that. Basically smeared and propagandized marijuana, made it illegal. And since then, with the war on drugs, oh my god, the war on drugs made it a much, much more uglier scenario for us. Mandatory prison sentences, double digits, especially for things higher than marijuana. But needless to say, you know, they proved that marijuana was okay in the 40s. And even in the 70s, you know, they said Richard Nixon did not care. And he just wanted to ban it and just use it to bully his political opponents. Now, with John Ehrlichman was a aide of Nixon's in the 70s, and in 1991, I believe, or 1990, he admitted that they used the war on drugs to bully and arrest Nixon's political opponents, that being the hippies, and that being the Black Panthers, which the hippies were associated with marijuana, and the Black Panthers were associated with heroin. So, the whole reason that marijuana is still banned to this day is because of the private prison complex, Big Pharma, and just a way for the government to generate revenue. And it's truly disgusting. They want a reason to militarize the police. The war on drugs is a good reason to militarize the police. The war on drugs is also unconstitutional. It violates the 4th and 9th Amendment. We are literally arresting, what was it, in 2018, there was 1,429,000 arrests for drug violations. For drug possession, just drug possession. And then it was 608,367 that were arrested for marijuana alone, for marijuana possession. So, this is a huge number. We're talking about over 500,000 Americans every year becoming victims to this system. Innocent Americans, too. People who come home from work, just want to bum out, or just had a stressful day and they want to smoke some weed. And now they're taking their kids away, they're putting them in jail, they're giving them fines. You know, some states, you know, they're lucky. States like New York, sure, it's not legal. But, at least you're only getting a $200 fine. You know? Then you got places in the South, like, Florida's pretty bad. I think it's like 9 months for like 20 grams or less or something like that. There are some places where it's a year. I think it was like Kentucky, it's like a year. Don't quote me on this, by the way. But I was looking at this a while back, and I was looking at the marijuana laws on NORML.com. Disgusting, guys. Completely disgusting. So, I'm not too hopeful on it. I'm really not. All I can do is hope that you guys go out, get active, call your congressman, call your senator, let them know you want this shit passed. I know I'm going to call my congressman. In fact, I'm glad I reminded myself to do so. But, we got to do this. This is our one chance, because we're talking about if we're getting rid of marijuana off the scheduling list, the feds can no longer enforce it. Now it's up to the states. The feds aren't going to get involved anymore. Now it's solely up to the states whether they want marijuana legalized or not. You know, and honestly, the states could have did this beforehand. Technically what they're doing is illegal, but Colorado did it, Oregon did it. Like, it's not like the feds don't care. The feds luckily have respected the 10th Amendment to that degree where we can have marijuana legalized on the state level. You know, thank God Jeff Sessions never got his wish. It's a good thing Chris Christie didn't get his wish too. Remember what he said? He said he would go into these states and he would enforce federal law. And the federal law is marijuana is illegal. And, you know, it's disgusting too. Like, there's been some courts ruling that if you're a marijuana user, a medical marijuana user, then you shouldn't have your Second Amendment rights. So your gun should be taken away. This is the type of police state that we live in right now, guys. A police state where even the simplest type of liberation, such as smoking a joint, can make you a criminal. Which I find very funny how people are supporting Biden as he has no regrets with his tough on crime bill. He still praises it, and he still wants marijuana illegal. So, just a heads up in case you thought he was going to do anything on the drug war. If Obama didn't do anything, Biden isn't going to do anything. Which is sad too, because marijuana, it can help with so many things, anxiety. It can treat things like Alzheimer's. You know, one of the main arguments I always make, as far as what it can treat, is all those kids that have seizures. You know, we've seen so many stories where kids would have 7-9 seizures a day. And it wasn't until CBD or marijuana that came along where those seizures have drastically decreased. Marijuana is, you know, Jesse Ventura said it best. Jesse Ventura said it best, or I think he got it from somebody else. But he said all marijuana use is medical. It's medical. Even if it's just for the euphoria, it's all medical. It's medicating your consciousness. It's medicating your mind. The revenue we could get if we ended the war on drugs, I mean, we're talking about $106 billion. Which is sad. I mean, this is enough money to fund departments. It's enough money to fund the energy department, actually. And it's enough money to fund another department, I just can't think of it. We could end homelessness with this. According to HUD, ending homelessness would cost $20 billion annually. I mean, this is a lot of revenue. And another argument is when you end the drug war. If you end the drug war, you let the free market handle it, you fund rehabilitation, you're looking at millions of jobs being created, you're looking at more GDP, you're looking at tax revenue, you're looking at people being able to make money, because at the end of the day, when you take it out of the black market, who suffers the most? Criminals, gang members, because their major source of revenue are drugs. So, I mean, right now, ever since 2006, since in the southern border, we've had over 150,000 people lose their lives, with over 20,000 in the Philippines. 1 year alone lost their lives. So, you know, when we're talking about this, we have to argue, one, we can get money off of this, and two, it'll create jobs. And three, I mean, it'll just make things, it'll make things so much easier for people. Can you imagine getting marijuana at a CVS or some crazy shit like that? Like, that'd be amazing. That'd be really amazing. But we have a lot of obstacles with this, because, like I said, like I always say, the powers that be will not simply just let you have what you want. Okay? Even the CCA admitted that they profit from these unjust laws, from these prohibitions. And, you know, we live in a system right now where even the simplest thing as smoking a joint can land you in prison. There are too many victimless crimes going on in this country where we're imprisoning people that don't deserve to be in prison. We have the biggest prison population in the world. 25% of the world's prisoners are in the United States. We have more prisoners than China, and their population is more than double ours. So, call your congressman, call your senator. This is going to be a serious vote, and it'll be one step forward into legalizing marijuana and eventually all drugs. And when you look at decriminalizing all drugs, we've seen it done in Portugal. Half of their heroin users have declined. And according to, I think it's The Center of Disease Control says that we could decrease HIV instances by 50% if we give out clean needles and stuff like that. 50%. So that's amazing. And they also, drug usage, STD cases, something else, overdoses, all that decreased. Because in Portugal, I think they had like a AIDS crisis or something like that in 1999 or something. I don't remember what it was. I think they had like a serious heroin problem in 1999 when they decriminalized all drugs. Or was it 2000 when they decriminalized all drugs? Well, either way, it's working for them. And it's working in Switzerland too, where they're helping out homeless addicts and giving them shelter. These policies work. These policies are effective. The war on drugs has done nothing for us. We spent over $1 trillion on it. And I think we spend like, $51 billion annually on it? Over $1 trillion. And guess what? Drug usage has not decreased. Only cocaine usage has decreased, and there's no correlation between that and the war on drugs. So, this is a flawless victory debate. We need to legalize freedom, okay? Because somebody smoking weed harms no one. It harms no one. And it's said that we live in a system where you can literally profit off of somebody's prison sentence